Hi everybody at YouTube, how are you doing? I hope you're doing great, and I hope you had a wonderful weekend. Again, my video is still an infant. It's growing slowly, as they do, because there's so much stuff out there. However, mine's a little different, and I'm not going to stay on this topic for long, but I wanted, I remembered one thing, and I just got done eating a popsicle, so forgive me. I just wanted to, I remembered one thing. I don't know if I told you yeah, we pull dogs from county shelters, and we foster them, or we get pups, or I don't want to do puppies anymore. It's just getting too hard, sadly. But I have, or dogs from people who just don't want them. Gosh, we've even found dogs tied to trees. Okay, and you bring them home, you vet them out, and you find them homes, and that is my passion. But you know, there are so many organizations down here now that are doing it. That I had a license at one time that expired. I'm a certified dog trainer, but I can do that. However, we had a building at one time where you were able to train dogs, and that came along. But you know, I don't do shock collars, e-collars. I don't do prong collars, the ones that dig in their neck, and I don't do choke chains, because choke chains are just a waste of, just throw them away. Please don't buy a choke chain, because that's a waste of money. You just, they are what they say they are. Choke chain. You choke your dog with it, and you do, but the dog learns to pull right through the choke and the pain. So, and I don't use harnesses because, well, I have used harnesses that clasp in the front, where you could pull. If you're turning, they turn this way. If you're turning that way, they turn that way. They're pretty good, but they're not so great for training. So I just use a flat buckle collar, and I let them learn that when they're walking near me, that when they walk out, they'll feel that pull and they'll come back in. You can give a tiny little pop. Sorry, the AC's on me. A tiny little pop, and they'll feel that, and they'll come back in. It's not pain. Prong collars can be I've seen a lot of people. You have to be trained in using these things. A prong collar, everything's a tool, and everything can hurt a dog. Understand that. But a prong collar, that's the daggers that go in the neck, and we've literally treated dogs that have had the holes in the neck from people who just don't know how to use them. Dogs pull through them. Electronic collars, you have vibration mode, which does not feel good either. It's a weird feeling. Oh, but they get used to it. It's unnatural. How's that? You're placing a dog now in an unnatural world. Dog doesn't have to learn a recall, because you could, come here, champ, and then press the button. And the dog feels that vibration and runs to you, just like a shock. A shock is more when you're mad, and really, you're mad, or you have more of a tough dog who doesn't want to listen, because the majority of dogs that I get in don't know anything, and so you shock it. You can start from 1, you can go up to 100. Now I believe the new ones can go over 100. I don't use them. I was trained to use them, and we did use them going back, but I don't use them because they suck. You're putting a dog in an unnatural environment, which it shouldn't be. A collar on a dog's neck and a dog lunging, which would be someone who I know, is not cool. However, the 2 dogs I've just rescued recently, I started real quick in the backyard where it's quiet. And anyway, that's my passion. they don't lunge. They'll bark if the other dog barks. Then I'll say quiet, and I'll remove them from the situation. And that's how we learn. That's how we learn. You're gonna bark, you're not gonna be here. So that's how we learn. And I do treat train. Some dogs like treats. Nothing wrong with that, because the police departments around here, all law enforcement, when you're working a shepherd or a Belgian Malinois or whatever type of dog you have, it's either they're treat motivated or they're toy motivated. So I'll use treats or I'll use a toy. Just like them. So that's not bribery. It's survival. Okay. So getting off of that topic real quick, just throwing that out there. That's my passion. That's what I love. That's what I do on horses. I ride horses, and I've had horses, and yeah. There's nothing like loving something and really doing it that makes you feel good. So that be me. Doing this stuff, okay, this is what I got on the topic of dogs. You know, I've been talking lately about people who talk to spirit boxes, and please, I know a lot of people want hope. If you want hope that your loved one is okay, believe it. Believe your loved one's okay. Do you need a person to come to you who claims they're, and this is all, again, my opinion, and it's for educational purposes only, because I don't want to slander people. I'm not going to name any names. But do you really need a medium who's going to come to you and have to talk to you and already knows a little bit about you or the person who's deceased? You have to fill out paperwork. You have to. They research you. They research the person who's deceased. They have to know something before they can say something. Or they'll say, I'm not picking up anything about this person. And just they're not coming out. I'm not picking anything up because you have no information on that person. So that's how it works. That's how it works. We can possibly not hear the dead talking to us or pop into our mind and say, yeah, I would like you to tell, I don't know, this is a random name, Roberta, that her mother dearly misses her and hopes that she does well with her college, because you know she's in college, and graduates, and goes on to work the job of her dreams. And you're like, oh my God, she really said that? No, she did not really say that. I'm debunking myths here. I lived it, and when I said I lived it, I'm going to tell you how I've lived it in 2 different ways right now, so we don't make this a extremely long video. 2 different ways. The one way was I was showing dogs. I had learned basic obedience. I had learned everything a show dog needed to learn. The dog was as good as trained as being a service dog. Quite the gentleman he was. And on top of that, I picked, the first one was a Doberman Pinscher. Okay, that was an easy show. There were like 75 people. That was an easy show. I kind of figured we were gonna go somewhere with that, but not to best in show, and we did, because you have to go through many categories, on lead and off lead, and she did phenomenal. So then we're going into a big show in a big part of the city. We have to drive far, and I was very nervous that day and scared, and I trained this dog that I bought because I rescued so many. I figured, why can't I own one breed that I want? So this dog that I had purchased, going back, I trained and I trained and I trained. At 8 months, she seemed like she was really, she got it. Like she was there. And I remember talking to the company that I was running under, because I would be running under them and presenting their name with my dog. And they said she's only 8 months. She's got to go through three rings before she can get to her best, which was a long down stay where all the people who were in the class, usually there's like 8 to 12, you put your dog in a down stay and you have to walk away and hide behind a partition back there where they can't see you, or a building somewhere where they can't see you inside of the establishment. And that dog has stayed there for 10 minutes. 10 minutes. And I felt she was doing that at home. She was doing that outside. We were doing it in the rain. We were doing it everywhere. And I felt she's ready. And they're like, well, bring her to clinics. That's where they check them out and see how they do. And in clinics, she did okay, but she wasn't going to represent them because she was not ready. I get it. She was only 8 months old. So I waited. I trained more. We trained hard. I didn't break her spirit. We just trained hard. And we walked with other people who walk dogs. We walked in the pouring down rain. We walked in cold weather. We walked in hot weather, not on the pavement because the pads of her feet. I took her to classes when I was training dogs and have her be like the ambassador, to show people how well behaved their dog can be too, if they keep at it. It's a lot of work. So we went through all that and a lot more, I'm sure, going back. But then came the time where she was a year and a half. Now's the time to pull them into the ring. And if you want, some lady who I met at the show said, I've been bringing my golden retriever here, or was she a golden? Or a lab, my lab here for 5 years, and he still can't get this right. And I'm like, oh God, that's going to be me too, It's going to be me. As it turns out, we went through the first course, which is on lead, and they walk at your side, but not in your space. They're right at your side, but not in your footing. They walk by you, you stop, they automatically sit. You back up, they back up with you. And it's all they're watching the movements of you. They're watching your hands is what they're doing. Because hands are what give the treats, but you can't have a treat in there only when they're done. So they learned that. So you just put your elbow back, the dog backs up as you back up. She went over a jump that I walked around. She went over it. The cue was jump. She jumped. It's just a lot. There's a lot. And when you get to the corner, because they had corners in the first ring, I'm like, ugh, this is going to ruin us. She had to, the hardest part training her, she had to learn to go around me and come and sit by me, where she'd only go behind me and then turn around and come back. Wrong. So she had to come around me and sit. And she did. I thought we did good. But we, blue, red. We took 4th place, which is a white ribbon. We took 4th place. Yeah. So I was bummed, but I was happy. But there were a lot of dogs in the class, and she was on the younger side, but I was happy with her. So I had another dog I pulled in, the same breed, very rambunctious, very willing to work. I thought, yeah, this is going to be the one. So we ended up going to see a pet psychic. Yeah. I was desperate. I wanted to show. Absolutely loved it. I showed horses. I wanted to show dogs too. So I'm like, horses are easier. So much easier with the classes that you pick. Because you're on the back. You use your legs. Use your feet. Use your reins. Use your body feel. It's just so much easier. But to me, Dogs are tougher. You know, they gotta listen to you and keep their attention on you. So I went to a pet psychic, my boyfriend at the time, and there was a line, and she was supposedly really good at what she did. And I'm asking people on the line because I'm nervous, and they're like, oh no, I've been here before, and I bring numerous dogs through that I get. I'm like, yeah? And what happens? Well, she's spot on. Okay, good. And it wasn't because I didn't believe, it's because I just didn't know. At that time, going back in time, I would have believed in anything because I wanted to know. So we went through that, and we got up there, and I said, this is my dog. Her name is Raven. It's a short name for her registered name. And I said, I've been training her to show. I've showed before. We've been successful with other dogs. However, this one is a little different. She's very in tune with me, but she's rambunctious. And she's petting her. She's feeling her. You know, she's closing her eyes, the woman is. She's looking up. She's thinking, and she says, she's going to be a queen. And I'm like, I understand. She's going to win dog shows for you and ribbons. Wow, I was happy. I was happy to hear that. This one was a different type, same breed, but just a different personality type altogether. We had our first show. I think she was 2 years old, 2.5, maybe 3, because that's how long to get that jump and happiness out of her. Not that she didn't want her happy, but I want her focused at the time. Happy, yet focused on me. And she was. We went to an Orlando show in Florida, and it was a big one where a lot of people came, and I was a nervous wreck. We hit the first ring and she ran off. That was a bomb out. Okay, but you're disqualified from that. So they hand you the lead, you catch your dog, it was off lead, you get your dog, and you're done with that ring, but you move on to other things. We went on to the second ring, which was just going over a few hurdles off lead, which she did very well. No, it was placement, place, and they go and they jump up on the whatever they had and they place. It was like a round futon thing, but it was harder. But a dog's feet grab good. No. She wouldn't place. She wouldn't leave my side. I pulled her out. I disqualified us all together, and I was bummed out. And that is where I started to learn that pet psychics are, well, she's had her dog through other shows. She knows how to train, because I told her I trained him myself. She knows how to do this. She's a dog trainer. How could she fail? I mean, how can I fail? Everybody fails at everything, even though they're professionals. I failed. I wouldn't have considered myself a professional dog trainer for the ring. I was really upset with her. Paid good money to see her, as did a lot of people. And I was very, very upset with her. And the fact that my dog could not, and again, I'm going to tell you, it's hot in here, that my dog could not finish the task at hand at the dog show. So, went home, was bummed out, and said, she's not going to be a show dog. It's not in her, not even a smaller show. This dog just wants to go off and be a lo-de-do-do happy dog and play with other dogs. Never showed her again. Had her spayed, and because they really want them unaltered, not neutered, not spayed. Not sure why. Maybe pass on genetics if they really, It's kind of like a confirmation. It's kind of like a dog show you watch on TV, the Westminster. You also get them in one ring where they have to stand properly and called Stacked, where they stack properly and they listen to you, and they'll trot by your side and they look at their conformation and all. And yeah, I just disqualified her from showing, period. No more training, no more anything. She just wasn't that type of dog. It wasn't going to work. And I had another male who I thought about who was a rescue, and he no, he wasn't going to do it either. He's a biter, so that wasn't going to happen. So after talking to the medium about that, I thought, this is a bummer. She was wrong, and she was going by my qualifications, I believe, because she asked me questions about me first, which the people on TV, they do that. They will do that. Well, I see you're wearing a pink ribbon, even though you may have your hair over it. Every now and then you may move your hair and there's a pink ribbon there. Someone in your family had breast cancer. This is what they pick up on. They're picking up on signs. Your body language tells a lot, and they're picking up on signs. You're like this. You're either cold or you're withdrawn. They pick up on that. And aside from that, I had to fill out paperwork for my dog as well. So I can't go back and sue. And why would I? I don't want to sue anybody. So that happened. Then after that, I remember wanting to see a medium. I don't know what's wrong with this side of my hair. Wanting to see a medium who was well known in the country about my life. Marriage, divorced. Marriage, divorce. Am I going to be single for the rest of my life? And I was younger. A lot younger. Excuse me, my allergies. And I was a lot younger. So I'm like, I just want to know where I'm going in life. And I worked in the medical field. I worked at a hospital. And I remember she said to me, it was a woman. And what did she say? Gosh, we have to go back. I can't remember the question she asked me. But I had worked at a zoo. And that was a dream job. I'm really sad that they closed down, and I closed with them. But they closed down. Working with animals is just a dream job. But she said, I can't remember what job it was going to be, but it revolved around. I just drew a blank, but maybe it was horse showing. It was hunt seat equitation. That's jumping. I was not a jumper. I was a jumper for fun. My girlfriend and I jumped horses bareback for fun, not at shows. We ran barrels. We ran poles. It's called Gymkhana. We did all the timed events. You got to go, because we had fast horses. She told me I was going to excel. The word was excel in hunt seat equitation. I'm like, really? My horse can jump. Although we don't ride English, we ride Western. We mainly ride bareback. Only when you're in a show, you have to have a saddle on. Western saddle. And I'm like, okay, maybe my life is going to change. And I'm going to get a hunter. A horse that jumps. Not very, I don't mind. I could do that. Cole, quiet. I can do that. So I'm like, let's see. So I'm at home, and I remember riding all kinds of horses and trying them out. And I remember I fidget. And I remember that, no, I had no desire. We would go to the shows, we'd run barrels, and every time they set up the doggone jumps, it was like the most boring thing to watch. A horse going around. How? I felt sorry for those horses. How can you do that? A horse going around in circles and just jumping jumps. And then you cut through when you jump the jumps. And there's a pattern and you follow it because you learn it, you know it. But that's not me. Never happened. Never happened. Seriously, never happened. And then in my life, there was going to be chaos. Well, please? Does anybody have a little bit of chaos in their life, or has it been perfect your whole life? Chaos came along. My father had passed away. And then my mother cried at night in bed. I consider that chaos, where she doesn't want to go to work anymore but has to, and we girls got to start taking care of the house. I was the duster. My other sister got to vacuum. My other sister got to fill the dishwasher and do that stuff, which was oh so easy. And I had the hardest job of all, dusting everything in that house. And we had a big home. And I'm thinking, there's our chaos. Is that the chaos? Because we were three girls, we mourned our father. My mother dusted herself up, started dating, and there's going to be chaos. Everybody goes through something. And I wouldn't exactly even call it chaos. I would call it death in the family. And you have to rearrange your life to help your mom get by. And we did fine. And she dated phenomenal guys. I mean, not many, but she dated, and we had clam bakes and all that. And what? Chaos in my family. Now, my family, with my mother remarried, was not the best. That's true. But again, another definition of chaos, and that wasn't chaos. That was just me being a brat. Me being a brat. That's not chaos in the family. The family was fine. I was being a brat. I was growing up. I had a crush on some boy who was much older than me. And my mom says, he even told me, he said, you're cute and all, but you're jailbait. What am I? Yeah, okay. So, we moved away, and yeah, no, there was no chaos. And that really made me start thinking that every family goes through something, and if you want to call it chaos, you can, but I just call it, just life. Who had a perfect damn life? Nobody. You just don't know about it. You see that rich couple come home and pull their Porsches in the garage, and the garage door goes down. You think they're having a lovely night every night? Wrong. Wrong. And wrong. Yeah, very wrong. Chaos. So I'm going to end it there. Be careful. Be careful. There is not a person in. You can talk to the dead. I wouldn't do it. Wouldn't do it. They're not going to talk back to you. It's not. Your loved ones are at peace. I'm here to tell you this 1,000,001 times. Your loved ones who are deceased are at peace. Please. Yes, they feel nothing now. Nothing, nor can they talk to us. Time's not right. We're not there. However, you can conjure demons. I've said it before. You can conjure demons. They're real. And no matter what you believe in life, do you really think that these people who just making mega millions, seriously, TV shows, out here on social media, do you think for a second, because, okay, you're blindfolded, don't open your eyes yet, no one talk to me, nobody say anything, but your eyes are hazel. Oh my God, you're right. How did you get that? Oh, please. Please. There was one I was watching the other day, and I'm thinking, and this person says, well, you had a friend who is deceased as of recently. How would you know that? We have newspapers still. We have it all over the internet. Come on. You knew about this poor young boy. I felt so bad for him. And you recently went to visit his family. Of course, his family lived right down the road. You think he's not going to stop there? No. No. I'm not going to fall for it. I'm one who will not fall for it. And I'm raising the flag and I'm raising my hand to it saying, stay away from me. Because I'm not falling for that crap. I don't know what's talking through these people to make other people cry and believe, but you wore that pink scarf around your neck today because somebody had breast cancer in your family. Jeez, they set them up so well. I know on the Montel Williams show I used to watch, I had him pretty well pegged with Sylvia Brown. She's deceased, I can mention that. Had her pretty well pegged. She wasn't even there. I mean, mentally. She wasn't there. You know, somebody'd stand up and she'd go, yeah. Oh, yeah, well, I'm sorry, but yeah. He says hello and he's fine. And that's... Well, I'm here to tell you all, I'm not a medium. But your loved ones feel no pain, feel no hurt, hold no grudges because they can't. They're not going to talk to you because they can't. They are at peace. I'm not a medium. And that's as far as it goes. So, go ahead. Check this video out as it grows. And then we'll move on to the other things in life that are strange, odd, and a little bit weird. You know, I'm sitting here doing this like... I fidget. I have fidget toys that I like because they make me feel comfortable because they feel good. I mean, to fidget. This is for my hair later on, so I'll be using this. But, and it's crazy the things I have in here. But, don't fall for it. Don't fall for any of it. I wouldn't. Don't do it. Don't pay your money. If you get a free reading, take the free reading. But you know what? When you fill out paperwork, make it all different than what it really is. Do that. Make yourself seem different than what you've been through. Do that, and they'll never catch on. Never catch on. If you're sitting there, though, and you're a 75-year-old woman, God, I think your mom's trying to come through. Duh! You're 75. Your mom may really be dead. Some people, they just live a long time. But she may really be dead. She's dead. And she's not coming through. I'm going to end this on this. Thank you. Thank you all for watching. And I hope you watch some more of these videos as I grow and try to grow and try to grow and try to grow and try to grow. And I wish you have a good night as I put out more videos. But I need help from you. I can't do this channel without anybody to give me something to talk about that would make sense. And, you know, I know you don't know me that well, but something that would make sense in my life to help me talk about. You want to talk about dogs? I'll tell you all about dogs. You want to talk about just people? You want to talk about life? You want to talk about aging? You feel like you're getting old? Yeah, age sucks. I'm going to tell you, I'm 64 years old. Aging sucks. No plastic surgery. I used to use retinol on my face at night. Stay out of the sun. Do my best. Still had skin cancer. Oh, it should be over here somewhere, the scar. But either way, still have skin cancer. It pops up every now and then, precancerous and cancer. Basal cell, squamous cell, don't want melanoma. However, give me a topic to talk about, and I'll do it. Somebody. I don't care who you are. It's all fine. Here, it's a cool place. It's a cool place. Please don't spend money on a medium. If you get a free reading, take it. And remember, the opposite of everything you are, the opposite of how you lived. Okay? Find out what happens. Until later, or until next time, have a good night. Thank you. Goodbye.